The NCAA tournament had been abnormally predictable so far. The road to the Sweet 16 featured very few upsets and even fewer surprises this year, but that all changed as the field was cut down to the Final Four over the weekend. We're talking March Madness after the break, so stay tuned. Welcome back. I'm James Farrar with today's Sports Update. The field when we began the second weekend of this year's tournament was still full of favorites. Big-name teams with rich histories like Duke, North Carolina, and Kentucky were all looking to add to their traditions. Last year's runner-up Michigan and the 2017 runner-up Gonzaga were headed for an Elite Eight collision with another shot at winning the whole thing on the line. But one by one, all those teams got sent home early, and by Sunday night we were left with a Final Four we never saw coming. By the time Michigan State locked up the last spot next weekend in Minnesota, we had lost a combined 20 national titles and over 60 Final Four appearances in less than 48 hours. We also lost every bracket in the country that had managed to stay even a little intact to that point. So let's take a look at the four remaining teams and how they got here. Michigan State has to be the most notable team left. Sparty is the lone blue blood program and the only team remaining with so much as a title game appearance anywhere on their resumes. The surprise in this case isn't so much the team that's still playing, but who they beat to get here. Duke was the top overall team and hands down the betting favorite to win it all, but that was before they ran into the kids from East Lansing. The Blue Devils' 68-67 loss brings a disappointing end to the likely only season of freshman phenom R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish, and Zion Williams' college careers, and for Duke, they've now been eliminated in the Elite Eight the last 2 years in a row. Tom Izzo's team will take on Texas Tech next. Tech knocked out the aforementioned runners-up from the last 2 years, with number 1 seed Gonzaga going down to the Red Raiders, just like 2 seed Michigan did a few days earlier. This is the first Final Four appearance in the history of Texas Tech's program. The other side of the bracket features the lone remaining 1 seed as Virginia survived a 42-point effort from Carson Edwards to beat Purdue in their Elite Eight matchup. This is a Virginia team that last year became the first ever 1 seed to lose to a 16, and this year trailed another 16 seed by 6 at halftime before finally pulling away and putting any lingering doubts from last year to bed. This is the Cavaliers' first Final Four since losing to Akeem Olajuwon and Phi Slama Jama in the semifinals back in 1984. Their opponents and our final team to mention are the Auburn Tigers. The 5 seed out of the Midwest region has taken maybe the most impressive path to a Final Four in tournament history. Despite being an underdog in each of the last 3 matches, Auburn has taken out Kansas, North Carolina, then Kentucky to get to this point. Those 3 teams are 1st, 2nd, and 3rd all-time in total wins and 1st, 2nd, and 4th all-time in tournament wins. They're by any metric the 3 most successful programs in college basketball history, and Auburn knocked them off in the span of barely a week. That was despite losing star freshman Chuma Okeke to a horrific knee injury that had his teammates and head coach in tears talking about it after the UNC game. Like Texas Tech, this is the first time Charles Barkley's alumni has made it to the Final Four as well. So there you have it. What began with the most accomplished schools in history, all expected to move on and face each other, ended with 2 teams who've never been here before, another who just 12 months ago was the laughingstock of the sport, and 1 remaining powerhouse who was supposed to be having somewhat of a down year for them. So much for March not bringing the madness this time around. The NCAA tournament continues next Saturday with title games scheduled for the following Monday night, and that's going to do it for today's Sports Update. Once again, I'm James Farrar. Now let's get you back to the news desk.